There are a bunch of Skylanders in the Skylanders series that are super expensive. I mean, have you looked up Robo on eBay? But there's also been some Skylanders that for whatever reason end up getting the short end of the stick and are super cheap. I mean, that's not bad for me because I love cheap Skylanders, but still. Skylanders could be cheap for many reasons. There was a lot in stock and everyone got them, so there's no more demand for them, or Activision just kept reselling them over and over and over again. Whatever, but there are a lot of cheap Skylanders, so let's go over some of those in this video. Now, I'm going to admit it, a lot of Skylanders from the first game, SSA, are pretty cheap. In fact, I cannot think of one right off the top of my head that isn't under $10, except maybe for Boomer, but one of them that is really cheap is Trigger Happy. I mean, I found listings from that were merely 99 cents. And the same can be said for Eruptor. While not 99 cents, is still very inexpensive. Eruptor was one of those characters that was just everywhere in stores and everyone bought him. So it's really no surprise that most of his listings can be found for $1 or less. Other Skylanders from the tech element, much like Trigger Happy, is Drill Sergeant. Honestly, I can't tell you why Drill Sergeant is that cheap. The reason Trigger Happy is cheap is because he is a starter pack Skylander, and most starter pack Skylanders are cheap. And Eruptor was always in stock. I can't really say that about Drill Sergeant though. I mean, I don't remember him being constantly on shelves all that much, and he wasn't a popular Skylander either. Maybe that is why he's so cheap though, because no one wants him. Kind of a sad story for Drill Sergeant. But let's talk about one more cheap Skylander from SSA. That'll be Stealth Elf. Yeah, Stealth Elf. Stealth Elf's story is similar to Eruptor in a way. She was one of those Skylanders that Activision was really putting out there so people would buy her. And it worked because she is not expensive at all and everyone bought her. I mean, what is even a Skylanders collection without Stealth Elf? I guarantee most every Skylander fan has her. Okay, let's move on to Giants. And real quick. Ah man, why is T-Rex? Why must he be so cheap? In case you don't know, T-Rex is my top 5 favorite Skylanders. And oh, look how they massacred my boy. I mean, seriously, $1? That's already cheap for a Skylander, but for a gimmick Skylander, that's just embarrassing. Like I already stated there early in the video, the starter pack Skylanders are always going to be very affordable because in order to get the game, you have to get the starter pack Skylander. And even more, T-Rex was in the Portal Owners Pack, so if you didn't even buy the starter pack but the Portal Owners Pack, you still got T-Rex no matter what. No matter what, you'd always get T-Rex if you bought Giants. That is why T-Rex is so inexpensive, because he is a starter pack Skylander. I mean, even his gnarly variant is also dirt cheap for a variant. I hate to see how one of my favorite Skylanders is so cheap, but I guess it's a good thing though, because everyone can experience T-Rex's greatness. You know, looking at Fright Rider's price, it really makes me realize that we live in a society. I mean, I highly doubt that anyone bought this dude. I mean, I did, but I'm a super fan, obviously, of the game, so I would obviously have to buy him. I mean, I found him in a bargain bin at a grocery store, so they're just dying to get Fright Rider out of stock. You can even still find him for $1. Guess Activision's plan didn't quite work. But honestly, even if you got Fright Rider for free, you'd probably still feel ripped off because he's not that good. Even the $1 price is asking too much. Don't buy him, please, unless you're a dedicated Skylanders fan and you want to finish off your Giants collection. That's the only reason why I'd say you'd buy him. The fact that Chill in package can still be sold at $3 really speaks to me. Chill was sold at half price, if I remember, whenever I bought her, and that's how I got her. The same can be said about a bunch of people I know. I mean, I remember everyone got Chill, at least I know, for a really low price. And look, I would never want to buy a bad Skylander, but because I'm such a dedicated Skylanders fan, I had to. I mean, I'm still dreading the day I have to buy Bone Bash Roller Brawl again, but I'm a big fan of Skylanders, so yeah. Chill, much like Fright Rider, is not the best, which is a big reason of her cheapness, so let's move on. Popthorn was a pretty popular Skylander, and yeah, he isn't super high priced. Fun fact about Popthorn is that he was sold in a 1-pack and an adventure pack, and his 1-pack and adventure pack figures are different colors. His 1-pack is a little darker than his adventure pack character. I'm pretty sure Popthorn is the only Skylander with this distinction. And Rattleshake holds the distinction of the only swapper that can be found for less than $10, well, except maybe for the starter pack Skylanders. I think that Rattleshake is fairly popular now. I'm not sure. I didn't keep up with all the Rattleshake news in 2013, but whatever. I mean, whenever I saw someone's Swap Force collection, they always had Rattleshake there. Or on YouTube, when I saw people Skylander hunting, they always got Rattleshake. But did we ever play as him? At least for me, I mean, no. We were always preoccupied with other Skylanders like Blast Zone and Freeze Blade, and I never really thought of Rattleshake. Now, is he a bad Skylander? I mean, no. Far from that. It was just that he was overshadowed by the overwhelming amount of great Skylanders on Swap Force's roster. But if that's true, then he should be expensive. I don't know how Rattleshake's low price came to be, but it's interesting to me, at least. I put Zulu in my underrated Skylanders list, but that didn't do really anything to change that he is a very, very low price Skylander. I mean, when your variant version in box is only $4, you know things aren't going right for you. I feel bad for Zulu, kind of. I mean, saying that he got overshadowed is an understatement. If you ask every person who's ever played Skylanders ever and ask them to name a Skylander, I doubt that any one of those people would say Zulu. But hey, if you want an underrated gem in Zulu, then he's super affordable, and I would suggest getting him. Trap Team has a lot of forgotten Skylanders, which is why there are so many Skylanders that are over $80 to $100 from Skylanders Trap Team. Yeah, we really live in a society, like I said. But Torch is one that is definitely not for $100 to $80. I mean, you can find her in box for only $3. Now, for collectors, that's awesome. A lot of cores from Trap Team were completely overshadowed by the Trap Masters, so in a weird twist of fate, the cores are actually usually more expensive than the Trap Masters. I mean, cores like Echo and Blackout became very rare, and that's why they are so high priced, and especially Blackout, as he was the first ever Dark Core Skylander. However, Torch did not get this experience, because like I said, she can be found at a very low price. But I think this is great, since there are so many cores from Trap Team that are expensive, and if you want a good Skylander core from a Trap Team that's not expensive, boom, you can have Torch. You know, any gimmick Skylander that its price is lower than $15 or $10 means that no one likes you, and that's very true about Head Rush. Question, who likes Head Rush? Seriously. She's in my top 5 least favorite Skylanders. It is not surprising to me at all that she's the cheapest Trap Master out there. Who thought of making a headbutting attack? But I need to move on because this video is about to become a Head Rush rant video instead of a cheap Skylanders video. Any Skylander that can be found in Trap Team for only $4 is a good deal, and Fist Bump is one of those good deals you could find. I can't be the only one that thinks Fist Bump looks like Chaos, right? I mean, just look at this guy. This is Chaos as a Skylander before Chaos got his own Skylander. Fist Bump fell into the same fate as Torch. He got overshadowed, but it still doesn't affect his pricing, since sadly no one wanted him. Fist Bump is a good Skylander though, I will say, and if you want to get him, he's very affordable, and I would say you should get him. Spitfire's Dark variant is only $270, so yeah, he's pretty cheap. This is because, once again, Spitfire is a starter pack Skylander, and for the next 2 games, the prices went up a bit when it comes to the cheapness of a Skylander. Because Skylanders, Superchargers, and Imaginators didn't do that good when it came to selling their own Skylanders, and we'll get to Imaginators in a second because that's even worse. But even with all that, Spitfire is still super cheap. He can be found from $2 to $5. He is a victim of the starter pack Skylanders curse, a lot like Triox, which I've already talked about in this video. Everyone who has Superchargers should have Spitfire, so there's no need to get him. That is why he's so cheap. And Deep Dive Gilgrunt is also probably cheap because there's already 4 other Gilgrunts out there. I mean, I'm guessing a lot of people thought they didn't need Gilgrunt because they already got him, and I think casual players of Skylanders thought this and didn't get Deep Dive Gilgrunt, but since I'm a crazy person and I must on every Skylander, yes, I did get Deep Dive Gilgrunt, and I got him more than I would now. I mean, I got him for what, $15 at retail price, so he can be found for $2 now, so kind of taking the L. Alright, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what happened with Imaginators. I mean, is any Skylander and Imaginators cheap? Well, I guess we're about to see. Okay, let's get 2 out of the way real quick. Golden Queen and Kingpin, because they are starter pack Skylanders, and instantly, boom, they are cheap. And because this is Imaginators, even though they are cheap, they're still like $5. So this is $5 is like the Imaginators cheap, okay? Because Imaginators has some very high price Skylanders. But are there any actual cheap Skylanders from Imaginators that aren't starter pack Skylanders? Well, in Imaginator's case, I guess you could say that Tri-Tip is, because he can be found for only $10, which is a lot cheaper than other senseis. The only reason that I could say why Tri-Tip may not be as nearly as expensive as other senseis is because he was released on Wave 1 and most people got him on Day 1. I don't know. Because he sucks, Dr. Neo Cortex can be found, like Tri-Tip, for about $10. And, if you want a little bargain, you can get the Crash and Cortex Thump-A-Weapon Island Pack for around $25. Cortex is not that good. Most people bought the Adventure Pack for Crash Bandicoot and not for Yellow Boy. If any Skylander got overshadowed, it was Cortex, but I'm okay with that because he kind of sucks. I mean, I've had him since 2016, and I still don't have him fully upgraded. I think that just speaks to how much I don't like him. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of reasons why Skylanders are cheap. They could just be Skylanders that most people don't like. They could have been Skylanders that sold way too many copies and no one wants them anymore. There's a lot of reasons why Skylanders are pretty cheap, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video about looking at some cheap Skylanders, and thank you guys for watching.